So please, if you could take your seats. I think President Raab should be here any minute. So, good afternoon, everyone. Please look around. Everybody is so festive. Everybody looks so beautiful. Everybody is so excited, of course. And I know everybody is looking forward to good food, okay? So we are gonna try to go as fast as we can to make sure that everybody has time at the end of the reception if you didn't have a chance to get your food now. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mariana Pavlovskaya, chair of the Department of Geography and Environmental Science. So welcome to our annual reception and awards presentation. As last year, we do it in a hybrid format, so that's why we have all those screens here. But I'm so pleased that majority of the participants were able to attend in person. This creates really very, very nice atmosphere. So thank you for joining us today. So before we begin, let me share a thanks to everyone who supported our department over the course of the year and also today's event. So first of all, I would like to thank, of course, all our full-time and adjunct faculty for amazing effort you all made to come back after the pandemic, teach with inspiration, excel in research, and devote much time and effort to making our department a better place for all. Thank you. Special thanks to staff for your dedication to our department. I'm grateful to Mimosa Frankfurt. Guys, please raise your hands. I don't know where you are sitting. Oh, here is. Oh, hi, Jennifer. Please come in. Welcome. Oh, okay. Well, we wanted you over there. Thank you so much. Okay. So meanwhile, Mimosa, thank you so much. Then also Nguyen Nok, our IT administrator. He's sitting over there. Thank you so much. Amy Ju, our college lab technician. Here is Amy. Oh my God. Okay, so Amy does a lot of work for all of us. And also Marina Avanesyan, our new departmental secretary. Where is Marina? I don't see Marina. Where? Oh, there she is. Also, thank you to Fadwa Youssef, our work study student. So she's right here. Now, then I would like to give profound thanks to Hunter College administration. I'm grateful to President Raab, right there, Provost Pardasani, right here, and Dean Polsky, right over there, for sharing and supporting our vision. Thank you also all for joining us today. President Raab, thank you for giving us funds for this reception. The food looks really good, so we really appreciate it. So now I would like to extend my thanks to sponsors of all the awards. Thank you again to Jennifer Raab for supporting our students this year with special awards. As always, we are infinitely grateful to Society of Women Geographers for their unwavering support of our best female graduate students. And thank you to Susan Leonard, who is a president of New York chapter of Society of Women Geographers, for joining us today. So many thanks to Miriam and late Saul Cohen and their family. They're not obviously here today, for supporting year after year our most ambitious student researchers with prizes that matter a lot for their success. Many thanks to New York Map Society for sponsoring Alice Hudson Student Map Awards. Is Laura here? Oh, there she is. Oh, I'm sorry, Laura, I didn't recognize you. Okay, so thanks to Laura Ten Eyck, Vice President, who is joining us today. So also deep gratitude to Oak Tree Award sponsor Jack Eichenbaum, our long-term adjunct, but the award is not given this year, but I would like to thank him. Now, thank you very much to those supporting this event, to ISET. We have Chris here. Jonathan, I think, walked away, but thank you so much for doing all this work. Also, thanks to all faculty participants, advisors, departmental staff for making this event happen. It's a lot of work. Lastly, I would like to thank all the students, undergraduate and graduate. You made it. You are concluding this semester at Hunter College with many different achievements. Hope this reception will be memorable to you all. Welcome, everyone. So now we are going to move to the main part of our reception, and I'm going to take a few minutes with the State of the Department address, and then we will proceed to our service awards. Then we will move to student awards, and then we will finish with departmental awards. Everyone has this beautiful program, so please refer to it as we go. Okay, now a few words about the state of the department. By tradition, because we are Department of Geography and Environmental Science, we have to start with the weather, okay? And the weather was nice this morning. It's kind of now doesn't look as nice. But let me say that for a number of years, I'm choosing to not focus on the weather, but I'm choosing instead to talk about climate. The latest IPCC report is incredibly blunt. Climate change is a threat to human well-being and planetary health. Any further delay in concerted anticipatory global action on adaptation and mitigation will miss a brief and rapidly closing window of opportunity to secure a livable and sustainable future for all. This year, we worked very hard to respond to this challenge as an academic department. We have emerged from the pandemic strong, and our department has grown in many different ways. Our courses collectively have the highest enrollments in years. Our students understand the importance and the need for geographic and environmental knowledge and skills related to those knowledges. This knowledge and skills will help students to address climate emergency and move to ecologically and socially sustainable future. They will also provide a foundation for careers in this area, the demand for which is rapidly growing and will explode in the next 5, 10, 15 years. As always, we paid much attention to our departmental programming during the National Geography Awareness Week, big event for us, and throughout the year. Just briefly mention, I'm going to just briefly mention a couple of events. A keynote about indigenous perspectives on climate and sustainability by our former student, Carolina Bihi, was really amazing. Then we have an artist from Cuba who talked to us about Everglades and slaughtering of thousands of unique birds to satisfy the market demand for feathers, for hats, for upper-class women that were in fashion at the time. Fashion is gone, but so are multiple bird species. We also held successful panels on student internships, open house for students, social departmental events. We invited early career earth scientists to speak to our students. We made efforts to increase inclusion and diversity through those and other events. Our students continued to excel academically, and in terms of leadership, they received prestigious awards. Some of them will be mentioned today. We also have one more valedictorian who is also here. Where is Mariam? Oh, there, right over there. The Green Belt Society went from an informal student group to a formal Hunter College student club under the guidance of our amazing adjunct professors, Ramiro Campos, who is here today, and also Enrique Lanzoca. Okay, they established their own relationship with New York's Park Department with the prospect of new internships. They planted hundreds of trees in different parks of the city. They learn how to care about the already planted street trees. They collected dozens of tires polluting New York City waterways. They organized student workshops and invited guest speakers. Faculty too continued to excel. I don't have time to really mention everyone's amazing achievements, but our faculty have shown it in so many registers. You, my colleagues, contributed to high-profile international reports, including IPCC, and where is Bill Seleki? I don't see him, but he should be somewhere here. Okay, they served on international research committees, and I'm thinking about Professor Salmoon in this particular case, but also many others. They received national awards, thinking about Seleki again. They were featured in media, including a New York Times article about Andy Ryman's research, right? They contributed to climate education in New York City school systems, and I'm thinking about Professor Miyares sitting right there. And also you all actively published and brought in grants. But what is also very important, we continue to grow as a faculty as well, right? This is the good news. We had pleasure to welcome Shruti Phillips, where is Shruti? She was right there. And also Charlie Worosmarty, I just saw him, right there. He is to our department. And we are looking forward to bringing on board new colleagues in the fall. The three researchers this spring have been amazing experience for the department. It was so much work. We had 8 campus visits within 2 weeks. All positions, doctoral lecturer in earth science and professorships in Black geographies, Black ecologies, and earth data science have attracted outstanding candidates. Even our second and third choices are fantastic writing scholars and teachers. Our top choices are beyond compare. All faculty practically unanimously have supported these choices. And this is not a trivial thing for department like ours, right? You ask, what geographers, earth scientists, and GIS experts have in common? The answer is they share an understanding that it is imperative to tackle the looming climate emergency by working towards environmentally resilient and socially just society. Sustainable cities must be green and equitable at the same time. Green future that excludes majority of people, especially low-income people and people of color, will not work for either rich or poor. Our students' lives will be shaped by challenges of climate emergency and quest for sustainability. This is why we collectively seek new strength in those areas. In those areas. This is what we have to give to our students. The new hires will thus shape the future of the department and, dare I say, of New York City, the nation, and the world. We understand financial uncertainty of CUNY system very, very well. Yet we are hopeful and we are looking forward to bringing them on board with our administration's help. In conclusion, the department is strong. Our spirits are high. Our energies abound, okay? So thank you very much, everyone. Okay. So now we are moving towards the next part of our program. And this is the presentation of our highest distinguished service award, which is called Anastasia Van Berkel Award, to Hunter College President Jennifer Raab. So before we present the award itself, okay, I'm gonna ask Professor Salmoon to tell us about Anastasia Van Berkel's contributions and why this award is so special.
Thank you, Mariana. For once, you can hear me and not ask me to speak louder, I hope. As a woman geoscientist, I take a lot of pride and joy in talking about other women geoscientists, particularly the Anastasia Van Bergelo, a woman geoscientist, a leader and pioneer in the field, and today is even more special because the award goes to a very deserving woman, one that provided tremendous academic leadership at Hunter College and one that provided incredible support, invaluable, I would say, to our department. We all know who I'm talking about. Anastasia Van Bergelo, who was born in 1911, attended Hunter College, and she graduated with a BA in geology in 1931. She then enrolled in the master's program at Columbia University, and she finished her master's degree in 1933. Past history for many here. She finished that degree at a time when there were more women in the fields of architecture and engineering. Not a lot, mind you, maybe less than 3%, but there were more women in that field than in geology and meteorology. I was surprised by that. She stayed at Columbia and earned a PhD in 1944, became the first woman to receive the prestigious title of Kempt Fellowship in Geology at Columbia. She began teaching at Hunter before she graduated in 1941 and remained there until she retired as a professor emerita. She became the chair of the Dance Geology and Geography Department in 1961. And served in this capacity for 4 consecutive terms. That is 16 years, because at the time, the terms were 4 years and not the light 3 years that we have now. Anyway, she was elected to the Hunter College Alumni Hall of Fame in 1973, and in recognition of all her years of service, Hunter College CUNY awarded her an honorary doctorate in science in 1996. Van Bergelo was a committed teacher during her tenure well into her retirement and produced outstanding amount of scholarship as well. She has published numerous articles, reviews, gave lectures. She was very active in the American Geographical Society, and she was one of the long-term members of the Society of Women Geography at the time of her passing, which I think it was 2004. Her research included geomorphology, physical geography, cartography, conservation resources, medical geography, and geography. All of these things we still do to this day. She produced one of the first analytical works on the New York City water supply systems. And she was the editor of the Journal of Geographical Education. She edited books in economic geography. But what I learned this time, I always learn something about her, that she was a passionate hymnologist, played the organ in several New York churches and wrote many hymns, one of which is still part of what they do in Norway. So let's rejoice and continue in her tradition. And meanwhile, I will pass the honors of giving the award to President Raab, to my dear chair.
Thank you so much, Professor Salmon. I thought it was very meaningful that one of our geoscientists, earth scientists, right, would introduce Anastasia Van Bergelo's contributions to us. So now we are moving to the very critical part of the award. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the proclamation. So Jennifer, if you would like to remain seated, you can sit or you can come up here. So we are giving you this choice. You would like to sit. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So now I just want to show everyone this proclamation. Look how beautiful it is. Thanks to our staff for taking care of this beautiful format. So this is what we are going to give, one of the things we are going to give to President Raab. But now let me read it out loud, okay? Proclamation. Whereas on this day, May 16, 2023, the Department of Geography and Environmental Science at Hunter College of the City University of New York bestows its Anastasia von Berkel Award for Distinguished Service. And whereas this award may be given to an individual for exemplary service and contribution to the Department of Geography and Environmental Science at Hunter College. And whereas Jennifer Raab served above and beyond her duties for 22 years as the 13th president of Hunter College, to which she provided visionary leadership through such critical periods as disruption of 9/11 and the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas Jennifer Raab demonstrated keen understanding of the crucial importance of geographic, geospatial, and environmental research and education in general, and its outstanding significance during times of climate emergency and humanity's urgent quest for environmental and social sustainability. And whereas Jennifer Raab supported our department with strategic lines in the areas of GIS, earth science, and geography, as well as provided generous support to our departmental initiatives, such as Geography Awareness Week, Earth Day celebrations, and the annual reception and awards presentation like today's. And whereas Jennifer Raab has unmatched dedication to experiential learning and student engagement, and thus eagerly supported student field trips to outdoor sites, making it possible for students to acquire unique knowledge, research skills, and lifelong memories about their time at Hunter College. And whereas Jennifer Raab, by means of all of the above, has promoted academic excellence and furthered both undergraduate and graduate geographic education within the Department of Geography and Environmental Science at Hunter College. And then it is hereby proclaimed that the 2023 Anastasia von Berkel Award for Distinguished Service is bestowed on Jennifer J. Raab, and that she is fully entitled to all honors and recognition that this award may bestow. Congratulations, Jennifer. So here is proclamation. Beautiful. And finally, every recipient of this award gets an amazing wow. So this one, so please take it with you. Yeah, good. Yes, okay. Yes, we also have 3 other faculty who would like to say something. Yes. I was going to take it back, actually. Okay, so according to the program, and Amy Ju tells me to not deviate from anything, so we have to invite Professor Shona Hearn to come up here and to say a few words.
Well, good afternoon, Madam President, our provost and dean are here as well. What a treat. Good afternoon to the faculty, and of course our students, who are really the main event here, because that's what this is all about. So I've actually been at Hunter College during the entirety of Jennifer's term. And I was here during 4 other presidents' terms. I know I don't look it, but this is true. I'm not making this up. And, you know, one of the things I was sort of thinking back about, you know, things that stood out. And one was actually a phone call in 2004. And I think you were going up for your first renewal for your term, Alan Dobrin, the senior vice chancellor. And Alan, I knew Alan because he was the commissioner of Do It. And in the 90s, Carsey's first really big grants were from DEP to create a base map for the city. And Alan saw the value of this and he pulled that into his portfolio at Do It. Which was, you know, very smart of him to have that insight. And he said, Sean, what's going on with the president? I said, well, what do you mean? He said, I don't know, you know, there's talk, she doesn't have a PhD. And I said, Alan, she's got a law degree from Harvard. You know, that's a pretty good credential. And I said, besides, the president doesn't need a PhD. You know, the provost does, because the provost is the head of the academic, you know, the leader. I said, what a president needs is 2 things. She needs leadership and she needs a vision as to where she should take that institution. And I said, on both of those counts, Jennifer is right there. And I said, I was kind of frank with Alan. We have lunch every several months, so I could be frank with him. And I said, Alan, don't you dare think about not reappointing her. I said, she's a keeper. And she's going to do great things for our institution. And he said, okay, Sean, write me a letter and send it to the chancellor and copy me, and I'll tell the chancellor about this conversation. So I don't know if that had any impact, but it didn't hurt. And so I was actually looking through, and I came across a letter that I wrote in 2014. I guess there was some media outlet was going to write something up, and it was clear they hadn't gotten, you know, a full picture. And so I think it was your chief of staff said, Sean, could you write a letter, you know, talking about the President Raab? And so I have the letter, and I'll read a little bit of it because it's kind of curious. What is this, 8 years ago? I said, I understand you were writing about president of Hunter College for an upcoming article. And I thought it may be helpful to give you the perspective of a professor who has worked at Hunter College for over 20 years and seen a number of presidents come and go. And then I introduced myself just to be credible. Since coming to Hunter in the early 90s, we've had 5 presidents. President Raab is the longest serving during that period. The first hint of her thinking about how to transform Hunter was when she moved our graduation from Hunter Auditorium to Radio City Music Hall. She understood something important about our students, many who come from difficult circumstances. By giving them a venue like Radio City Music Hall for their graduation, they would be made to feel good about who they are and what they can accomplish. This thread has been a consistent theme throughout her tenure. It was on display again at the opening of our newly renovated library this spring. One of the speakers was a young African-American graduate who told a story about how important the Hunter Library had been for her as a refuge when she was enrolled at Hunter. However, after a while, she realized it was in serious need of renovation. She went to President Raab, and that meeting triggered an effort that resulted in the creation of a modern and extraordinary space that is our new library. That space helps students raise their own expectations of what they can do and who they can be, and affects the mindset of every student that studies there. The attention President Raab gives to her students on an individual basis is surprising. Last semester, I had an African-American undergraduate come to me and say, President Raab thought he should talk to me about studying geographic information science. And this wasn't the first time it had happened. And I'm sure she does the same thing with other professors in other disciplines. President Raab has also made an effort to encourage interdisciplinary work among faculty. She organizes a series of luncheons every year at which she presides that has helped connect faculty in different departments. She also established the Roosevelt House Public Policy Institute, which is an exciting new interdisciplinary venue. She has focused on obtaining more resources for faculty for travel and reward those who have delivered. The new stature and desirability of Hunter as a place to work was recently reflected in a job search that we had for geographic information scientists, in which we had 85 applicants. This is 2014. Another transformation that President Raab has made is resurrecting the extraordinary history of Hunter, which includes 2 graduates that went on to win the Nobel Prize. She has also tapped many of the alumni and New York City community in a fundraising campaign that is unmatched in the history of the college. This has enabled fundamental changes to our infrastructure that is transforming our college. Our new East Harlem campus for health science is world-class, and the president has recently signed a deal with Sloan Kettering to build a new science building on the east side. This is 2014. Sorry to bring that up, but you did the work to tee that up. The renovation of the Roosevelt House has created a beautiful center for conferences and events at the college. President Raab is an innovator and mold breaker that often tackles problems in ways that may upset some of the more dogmatic administrators that have served at Hunter. I think this is part of what some of the recent kerfuffle has been about. This is why I sent the letter. However, a top-level administrator at CUNY recently told me, nobody works harder and cares more about her institution and students than Jennifer. And that is something I have witnessed firsthand. Jennifer, you have given us so much and taken us so far. Bless your heart. We will miss you.
Thank you, Sean, for your thoughtful remarks. So now I'm asking Professor Bill Saleki to come up.
Good. Okay, so I think you'll hear some themes echoed, what we just heard, and the Anastasia Van Berkelo Award is about service, and I was kind of reflecting back, trying to think about, obviously, Jennifer, you and I've had a lot of experience in the connection to the Institute for Sustainable Cities and in other contexts as well, but I was thinking sort of more broadly, what are some of the these lasting legacies that are going to come from your time at Hunter. And I came up with 3 words or 3 things, again, reflecting some of the things. We didn't compare notes, Sean, but here they are. So one is institution, a second term is students, and then a third, which is a little bit more cosmic, is the individual, right? And I want to kind of touch on those very briefly, because I only have 2 minutes. See, I've already used 1 minute. So, and all this, I'll try to sort of weave in sort of comments that I've heard from Jennifer over the years. So one of them was Hunter University. The idea of Hunter as preeminent within the CUNY universe, and really to sort of bring forward that entrepreneurial spirit, which she certainly has had, to not only bring forward the everyday experience, but also the institution as well. We've heard about Roosevelt House and so many other sort of initiatives, fundraising, of course, a commitment to the institution and a fierce defender of it. I think, that is certainly a legacy, that will kind of withstand the test of time. The idea of recognizing the importance of Hunter as an institution, the capacity of us individually and collectively to support each other in the development of the institution, at a time when we see lots of changes within CUNY, increasing strength within CUNY as a large apparatus over the senior colleges. I think Jennifer, one of your great legacies is that notion of Hunter and the position of Hunter in that sort of universe. A second, of course, is students, right? Students is why we are here, right? Hunter doesn't exist without students. We don't exist as a faculty without students and the administrators along with that. And I think, again, talking with Jennifer here and there over the years, what always amazed me, given how much is going on in her life as an administrator, how many sort of different threads and questions that are being brought forward, she never forgot and never forgets the everyday experience that students have to live with. I mean, I think in some part, she sees the Hunter experience, the student experience through her own experience as a student, and has sort of embodied that passion, that vision, that striving that has sort of become a hallmark of her administration for the institution, right? So the idea that students need to experience things, not only the best quality education within the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, to give students that experiential learning, those informal opportunities that sort of provide not only experience, not only knowledge, but confidence to sort of move forward and to advance, in their own lives. And I think, I was always sort of, deeply impressed how you never lost and have never lost sight of that, like what we're on about, how the students need that. And I think that's especially meaningful for our department, earth, geography or environmental science, et cetera. One of the most important things about that activity and that scholarship is going out into the field, sort of seeing what's going on in the world, whether it's within a community, within a wetland, within a forest, whatever is the venue. It's in that connection to place outside of the classroom where great advancements happen and are particularly meaningful. And to sort of connect that idea of knowledge, experience, and ambition together, I think is, again, a central legacy as well as service that you've brought. The last thing is this notion of the individual, which is, again, a little kind of like, what does that mean about? I was reflecting on this. One of the things that, again, knowing Jennifer a little bit in terms of the everyday practice, and one of the things that I've learned about people in leadership positions in New York, part of the way that they sort of understand the world and connect with the world is through their Rolodex, and so who they know and how they know it. And of course, at some level, at a simple level, that those connections bring, meaningful opportunities, bring power. But I think more fundamentally, what we find is it sort of talks about the role of individuals. We're all sort of embedded in these bureaucracies. We all have our roles to play. We're faculty or administrators or students. We're all role playing. But I think one of the things that the service, component of your experience, Jennifer, is that you've helped me understand, and I think others around you, that it's the individual and what they bring and the potential what they bring that is the most important, that individuals can become agents of change, right? As you've done in this institution and as a role model for everyone from faculty, students on down. And I think that's really incredibly embedded in the Roosevelt House Public Policy Program, because what it illustrates is this connection between education, research, practice, and policy, right? And in that thread, as you consistently hear, kind of reverberating through the halls, through, evidence of all kinds of experiences and so forth, is that individuals, how they live their lives at Hunter. And this is sort of cliche, of course, like you can, make a difference, but truly it's in that sort of example and in what you've embodied, it allowed us to sort of create that connection to being agents of change, right? And to sort of, affect the future. And I was thinking about the care of the future is mine, the Hunter motto. Like, well, what does that really mean? It obviously puts a lot of onus on the individual, but your legacy is to sort of add to that motto, to sort of say, we can do this as agents of change, and the individual is preeminent. And obviously the collective is a big part of that process, individuals sort of acting collectively. But it's in that sort of context that I think has been tremendous service. Obviously, in my work, at the Institute for Sustainable Cities, helping create that and lead that, was a clear endorsement of my capacity to act as an agent of change. And I've tried to sort of instill that in others as I've gone forward. So just to sort of sum up, and I hope I'm good on time. She's about to pull me off. One is the embedded, fierce defender of the institution, the indeflaggable sort of support of the everyday student experience and creating ambition for them. And then 3, sort of focusing on the individual as agents of change. Tremendous service. Thank you.
At most. No, because we've got Ramiro teaches at 4. Okay.
Okay. Professor Ibrahim.
I'm really sad. I have known President Jennifer Raab for more than 20 years as an administrator, as a colleague, as a great friend. In all of these 3 areas, Jennifer Raab has achieved a tremendous success that pushes Hunter far ahead of everywhere, that pushes Hunter to be the first college on Coyne, to be one of the best public schools, to be one of the best schools, and that kind of things, it pushes her up. And then in the same time, she generates a lot of relationship with the society near Hunter in the college, nationally and internationally, that create a legacy, that push her to be not as a person. It became as an institution. Therefore, when we say Hunter, we mean Jennifer Raab. When we say Jennifer Raab, we mean Hunter. So it left that kind of impression on me. This is why I feel the legacy is gonna be there all the time. As a colleague, she helped us in the department, like helping in anywhere, all of the departments, and she promoted the programs over there. And we as faculty, she helped us with the research award to go to the conferences, and with excellency in teacher, although I didn't get one yet. And so that kind of things, which is making her everywhere. She is a positive, has a positive influence. As a friend, as I told, I know her for more than 20 years. She believed me. By the time that I came to tenure, I was there, hanging up there. She decided that to give me a tenure. And that is not because of she believed in me. At that time, I had a lot of problem with research because I have a lot of other things. But I wrote, I published, but I couldn't go ahead in those 4 years where I have to get anyhow. This is not the point. And the other thing is, as a friend, she helped us. Not only this, but also she give you a positive energy with her big smile whenever you see you. Whenever she sees you, a big smiling going in front of her. She is great. She is great. She is the legacy. She turned into an institution for all of that. As a friend, I would like to request for her 2 things. Forget about the term, forget about the administration. Let us keep that social interaction at Hunter, that you should be frequently at Hunter. And then I'm gonna suggest for you, please come and take an auditing classes with us. Please, would like to see you there in front of us. That because it is a matter of inspiration, a matter of energy, a matter of keeping us moving up. Thank you very much, President Jennifer Raab.
I will be briefer and
Thank you, Mohammed.
Thanks. So this is going to surprise Mohammed, but I'm actually almost speechless, which is pretty unusual. I'm so touched, I'm so moved, and I'm so grateful. First, Mariana, how cool to get an award based from a woman geographer, from an extraordinary woman geographer. Let's give Mariana an amazing round of applause, right? So And as you mentioned, this is really an incredible part of Hunter. And I thank you, Sean, for thinking of one of my passions, which is talking about that Hunter is the 9th school in the United States to accept women into higher education, and what a legacy, including Charlie's mom. And we created such opportunity for women, and Anastasia stands for that. Mary Dulciani, another woman represented in our library. And I'm very proud to announce to all of you that of our 2 women Nobel Prize winners, one of the nephews called recently, and we've arranged to have Gertrude Ellion's Nobel Prize on display in the library, which is to inspire our students, including the very bright blue chiffon dress you wore when she accepted it. And when the nephew said, I want to give you the dress, I thought that's a little odd. But the story was that Gertrude looked out and she said, a sea of penguins, men with tuxedos. She was wearing this cool, bright blue dress. So how could we not take it and make it sort of a good luck charm to all students going to take exams? I also want to say geography was a major of those early women pioneers that they adored. And when men went off to war, women filled the United States government as meteorologists and climate specialists. And one of them recently made a significant donation. I've become very close to her. She's 106 years old. But what's really wonderful is, so she went into weather, and this is a true story. You can go see in the library on the 5th floor. Her name is Be Clear. And she's a meteorologist. So, and one year, one of our holiday parties, we actually got Dr. G, the weatherman, to meet Be Clear, and it was an amazing thing. I feel so grateful to be part of all of your lives. And I have to confess, I do have this very special heart in my heart for geography and geology and this department that you've become of geography. It's a little bit embarrassing because I failed right over there at Hunter High School, the Castle building. I failed map reading. I was terrible at this. I can't drive. And so I don't know that Anastasia might be not so happy with my academic relationship, but visionary. One of the first things I learned when I came to Hunter, and Alan may remember this, that we were having an argument about whether to be a school of arts and sciences. And one of the reasons I knew people wanted to go back to 3 divisions, science and social science and the arts. And Andy will certainly remember this. And one of the compelling moments for me was geography department, because you were both. You were the deep science of geology and of environmental science, and the social science of feminist geography, which Marianne has taught me all about. So we could not divorce you, and we had to have this disciplinary connection, and we fought for it. And that's how I learned so much. I learned so much from Sean. When we first met, it was actually 9/11. And this man contributed so much by doing heat censoring of the piles at 9/11 to see if they could find bodies. It was terribly tragic, but what he contributed and what we could then explain to students, why would you want to study this discipline? Because there's so much to contribute. And then we called on Sean when we moved to East Harlem to do zoning studies with his Carsey and wonderful GIS mapping systems. We recruited Bill here to be the chair, and then he ran off in 5 minutes to run the Sustainable Cities, and he hasn't stopped being a visionary in that way. And then my friend Mohammed is actually the first person I gave tenure to in the city at Hunter, and he's made me so proud by getting promoted. So what you do in this department is so important, and your research obviously is life-changing and sustaining, but your connection with students, as the speaker said, that's what motivates me in the morning, and your commitment to engaging students in your work. And I have been a part of that, and I'm looking at my friend Alan here, and Alan got me not only to put a weather station on one of the roofs, which I think was completely illegal, but actually, this is the crazy, he said one day, you need to come up with the students, we're painting the roof white. And we went out on the roof with rollers to paint the roof white, except he didn't tell me you needed to wear flat shoes. So the entire roof has my heel marks in the white. So it was another, I tried to contribute. But it was really, again, but it was all about student engagement. So I am so deeply grateful. I just so moved by these tributes. This award is so incredibly special to me. This department and what you do need to keep that motto of caring for the future in your hearts. And Marianne, I'm going to create today a $25,000 fund for experiential learning and internships in the department, but you be a good steward of it. Please use it to engage students, create internships, and continue to create great environmental and geography. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm actually also because I really do know how much President Trump cares about the students, and as Bill mentioned, both about their academic achievement, but also about their everyday lives, right? During the pandemic, she made amazing efforts to provide students with laptops, right? Then those things were delivered to the locations. Sean assisted with mapping, like creating a map of the locations where, vans should go and drop off those laptops to reach the largest number of students. Concern about everyday life, how to help with financial assistance, mental health, how to help students in all kinds of crises. This is really amazing. And I think for us also, we benefit from that kind of approach as a department, but also your gift today, Jennifer, is really special for us because this kind of experiential learning through seeing the world firsthand, touching it, observing whether it is a particular riverbed, whether it is a particular outcrop of the rocks, or whether it is a neighborhood in the city where you would not go otherwise. This is so eye-opening for the students. It's really making their world so much wider and the understanding of what they're studying so much deeper. And they become researchers, right? They become researchers right there. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're gonna have a slight change in the program. So we are gonna ask Jennifer if you could come up and present the awards that you generously gave to our students on top of everything. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, do you want me to?
Yeah, why don't you get the names? I could just call them.
Yeah, please. You have Sarah.
Sarah Kashan. Right, okay. Lane McConnon, Lane, all right, Laney, sorry. Lane. And there are real checks coming. There are fake checks in here. Jorge Solavia, right?
Thank you very much.
Fadwa Yosef. And Mariam Abdullaban. Mariam. They're everywhere. She's a star. So, and speaking of fabulous women, can we just give another round of applause for Amy? We got it. Congratulations, all our students. Good.
Okay, let me just say a couple of words about those awards. So when Jennifer so generously suggested that we nominate the students, faculty did nominate the students. And in those nominations, we considered both academic excellence that all students have demonstrated, and also we considered the leadership of the students in student life in our building our department. and moving it forward. So this is why you guys were nominated. And so thank you so much to Jennifer Raab, of course, and thank you to you students, right, for your amazing work, both inside and outside the classroom. So we are very excited. So thank you. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. All right, so now. Yes, of course. Oh, he wanted to say something as well. Oh my God, I totally forgot. Well, Tony,
Yes,
Jennifer, if you could hold on a second, because Tony, I totally forgot somehow. All right, I missed it in the program. Tony wanted to say a couple of words as well. So I'm so sorry, it's my bad.
I saw you on
hi,
camera, Tony, and I said hi and you couldn't hear me.
hi. This is Tony Grandi, and I'm happy to be part of this ceremony honoring you as an administrator point of view. I've been at Hunter, or I was at Hunter for 35 years and now happily retired. Congratulations on your retirement as president of Hunter for 22 years. Thank you for all you've done for the college. You've really elevated its status within CUNY and academia. The ancient Greeks divided all learning into two categories, time and place. Time became history, place became geography, and your 22-year tenure at Hunter College embodies both of them. Thank you for your support of the department and the geology and geography and environmental science programs over all the years. I don't know if you recall, but we first met at the Carsey Lab Mapping New York exhibition, right as you were becoming president of Hunter, after you were nominated, I believe, and that was right before 9/11. And you saw firsthand the job of what geographers did. And of course, after 9/11, you recognized the importance of the work of the Carsey team, which used the cutting edge technology in mapping the World Trade Center site and helped with the responders and other personnel in the recovery effort. Over the years, your support of academic work of Hunter's geographers and environmental scientists have placed the college in the spotlight on numerous occasions, whether dealing with climate change, Superstorm Sandy, or a variety of environmental and urban issues. And thank you for letting us thrive. And finally, I would like to thank you for your ongoing support for the higher education officers at Hunter. These are the people who staff the trenches, who interact with students and faculty on a daily basis, and who are a vital component for the Hunter community. As a past chair of the HEO Forum, I worked with your office on many different levels and many different occasions. When in 2004, you asked whether an award for Hunter HEOs was appropriate, I was overjoyed and immediately agreed that it was a very appropriate for this long overdue recognition of the role of Hunter HEOs. Thank you for institutionalizing the annual Presidential HEO Award since 2005. So all this being said, it's very fitting that the department honor you with this year's Anastasia Van Berkelo Distinguished Service Award. You have 22 years of distinguished service to Hunter College and its academic mission. I wish you rest and relaxation in retirement and loads of free time filled with what makes you happy. You deserve it. Thank you very much.
It means so much to me, Tony. What makes me happy is today and this being with all of you. And I'm so glad you said that, because I do remember you were the person who inspired the HEO Awards, and they will be institutionalized. There are no more important people that we don't get to say thank you to, but are incredible HEO. So Amy, you had big shoes and you filled them incredibly ably. Tony and Amy, probably the best HEOs in the building. And just going to say that. So congrats. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was very emotional. Thank you everyone for sharing your amazing remarks and shedding kind of light from different angle on the significance of Jennifer Rapp's tenure for the institution and for our department as well. So now we are moving to another exciting award, and this is a newly instituted award. And the award is called Henry C. Roten Outstanding Adjunct Award. So the recipient of the award, if you can see from the program, is Ramiro Campos and Professor Ines Millares. And wait a second, don't run it. Okay, so first part of it is Professor Millares telling us about the award. Thank you.
In conversations as co-chair of the awards committee with Professor Randy Ruppberg, we realized one group of staff faculty that we rarely recognize but are essential for our department are our adjuncts. And so we created the Outstanding Adjunct Award and chose to name it for a longtime adjunct and friend of the department, Henry Sorotin, who recently passed away. And we spoke among the faculty, we polled students, and the name that emerged as our inaugural recipient is Ramiro Campos. And we have a student who is going to make a few remarks, then Dana Reamer is going to make some remarks, and then I'm going to make some remarks about Ramiro and then get him off to his job, teaching.
So in the interest of time, I'll keep this brief. Campos, as one of your previous students and fellow Greenville Society member, I have experienced firsthand the amount of attention, care, and respect you give to everyone, especially your students, as you educate and entertain us at the same time. As an educator, advisor, friend, and #1 advocate to many of us, I think it's safe for me to speak on behalf of your students and say thank you for all your work. And a reward, well-deserved. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I see a lot of faces that I don't remember, and I think that's great because most of you are students, and it's so wonderful every year to see new faces and people moving through the department. And I see Wengie Niemeister who's smiling. It is, I think the last time I stood here was a couple of years ago. I think that was what it is. But I want to say, Mariana, that I think this is an award long past due, and I am so gratified personally that you've named it after our friend Henry, and that the first winner is my friend Ramiro Campos. For just a brief moment, I knew Henry Sorotin for 30 years. When I came here, I was a returning student, having left school 20 years earlier without earning my own undergraduate degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had read in National Geographic about somebody named Kathy Crane at Hunter College, and Kathy Crane was a marine geologist. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And it was just across town from where I live. So I applied and I was accepted, and I became a geography major. And now I have a BA and an MA, and I've had a long career at Hunter, and now I'm retired for 3 years. So I want to tell you that, as I said, I knew Henry for 30 years. When we met, we clicked, we became fast friends. Later, Ramiro came along. I remember Ramiro as an undergraduate, not in this department, but he was here. It seemed like all the time. And the two of them hit it off beautifully. They just clicked. They're very much alike. And I'm going to jump back and forth between are and were, are, and so bear with me when I do this, please. In some ways, the two men are very much alike. Both are smart. I mean, really smart, so smart. Both are funny, very funny. If you've been a student of Professor Sorotin, if you've been a student of Professor Campos, you know what funny is. That's right. Okay. Both of them were adjuncts at the same time at different colleges. Let's see, they covered Hunter, of course. They covered Pace downtown, Long Island University, and Adelphi. Am I missing anything, Ramiro? Oh, okay, Adelphi. Okay. For a number of years, both of them taught at CW Post, which is one of the colleges from Long Island University, but they did it at the same time. And this is where I can honestly say that I would have given anything to be the fly on the wall in the room where Henry and Ramiro sat and kibitzed. I just imagine the words were flying fast and furious. Okay. The other way you're both alike is that you are and have been respected by your students. You've been admired by your students. They sought you out because of the courses that you taught and because of the way you taught and the way you teach. I have watched Ramiro teach. I hired him several times to teach. I also sat in as a senior auditor on a course that he taught. And I was personally so impressed and so much entertained. I mean, if you can't have fun at what you're doing, then why do you do it? And Ramiro has fun at what he does. I understand, Ramiro, really, at my core, why the department values you the way it does, how much respect it has for you. But there are a couple of ways that you and Henry diverged and you are not alike, okay? First of all, the most obvious issue is that Henry would never, ever be caught dead in a bow tie. And as Ramiro said this afternoon when he and I talked for a few minutes, he said he's reached a point in his life where he does not feel complete without his bow tie on. I think the only two people that I know now in my life who wear bow ties are my husband and Ramiro. The only thing I've never seen Ramiro in is a tie. A tie. Okay. Thank you. I won't be here tomorrow. Please, somebody take pictures of Ramiro in a tie.
You can zoom.
Thank you. But Ramiro, you have things that Henry did not have. You have youth and you have energy. You are louder. You are neater. And you are much better dressed than Henry ever was. Okay. In my 30 years at Hunter, as a student, as an adjunct myself, as an administrator in this department, and as now a proud and happy retiree, I cannot think of a person who is more deserving of this award. It honors you and our dear friend Henry Sorotin for your long and devoted service to Hunter and to our beloved department. And thank you all for honoring Ramiro today.
Ramiro and I started here together 30 years ago. He was a freshman, having just transferred from St. John's. I still remember where he sat in my 101 class in 415 West. And, you know, when you've got 100 students, but one of them stands out, and our initial conversations where he introduced himself as Anika from Bushwick, and this is Bushwick 30 years ago, back when now it's, gentrifying, but then it was a very significant thing. And he was blown away that he had just received the first 100 he had ever received in an exam. Now, I could never convince him to major in geography, but he took just about everything. He has a degree, his undergraduate in history, anthropology, and all but the GTech courses for geography. But I did convince him to get his master's in geography. He did his work with me. He went with me 3 times to Peru, once as an undergrad, once as a grad student, where he initiated his thesis work, doing a critical analysis of the symbology of Machu Picchu. Second reader, David Harvey. I mean, it was an excellent critical analysis, legit critical analysis. And then the 3rd time as my program assistant, and then watching him blossom as an adjunct here, and seeing the passion for his teaching, for our students, for the Greenbelt Society. I mean, Ramiro for years has been like a son to me, and to be able to present this award to him as the inaugural award for our outstanding adjuncts is a phenomenal privilege. Come on up. We have a few things for you. Okay, something that Henry would never be without, a Diet Coke.
Thank you.
And then we have
Is that my Target bag or Henry's?
a couple of world maps from National Geographic,
I know exactly where to put it.
and push pins with flags from every country in the world.
Wow, that is so Henry. Thank you.
And I know you need to dash off to teach. Thank you for staying.
I have, I can make it across in 6 months. I just want to.
Yeah.
Just got one more thing to give you.
Can I
So-
keep the bag?
So this is the beautiful presentation
Thank you.
of the fact acknowledging this award. And it will be followed up by a more substantial material hard
Wow, okay.
plaque.
Oh,
But right now, look how beautiful it is.
Thank you
So.
In the interest of me having to teach in 5 minutes, I'm just a couple of quick remarks. First, thank you to my little wife for her patience, extreme, very long patience, and extreme understanding when I have to tell her I have to not do housework and pull 301 tires out of Jamaica Creek. Some of you were there, you know what I mean. All right, just go do it. She knows, she knows what I need to do. I want to thank my mom, who is in the 1950s, one of the few women in Latin America going to college. So that kind of inspired me to be a teacher. I actually want to thank the department, but especially Mariana, because when Professors Lance Oca and Monterosa and myself went to her to start the Greenbelt Society, she said, go for it, whatever you need. And we got the most prized asset in the geography department to help us. That was Amy Jew, also one of my friends and one of Henry's friends. And we really couldn't do 90% of what we did without Amy. So I just want to definitely thank Amy. Also want to, because I have to leave and teach, just congratulations to all the other recipients. If you're up here, you deserve it. So don't be shy. I just want to let you know a little bit about Henry, the way Henry would like to be remembered. Hi, James. I met Henry, a lot of people don't know this, the first time in Peru
well, the first thing Henry would say, actually, so before I want to met Henry, he would say, just take it and run, Ramiro, before they realize the mistake they made. All right. The second thing they would say he would be happy is that it was another working class whiskey drinking Irishman like himself that won this award and not the gin drinking Presbyterians at the Graduate Center. So Henry and we first met in Peru in 1936, where we were looking for the Chachapoyan idol. We were beat there a year before by a Princeton archaeologist named Forrestal, and beat there 1 week later by a French archaeologist called Belloc. And it's only some people know what I'm referencing. But then Belloc beat also another Henry, very famous Henry Walton Jones II. Later on, and this guy would be known as Indiana Jones. And Henry would later on work for the OSS, helping out Indiana Jones. And then in 1969, I would like to say that neither I nor Henry were nowhere near the kerfuffle that happened on the Upper East Side in 1969, where a horse went into the subway station. But if you want to know more, the documentary is coming out June 30th. It's called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So that's for Henry, who's hopefully listening to us in that big, rare book library in the sky. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ramiro. Oh, yes, take this, of course.
I'm going to leave it on my desk for 5 weeks.
Yes. Well, we are so excited about this new award, and I just want all our guests to understand how important our adjunct instructors are for our department. Like, for many students, they are the face of our department, and we are so fortunate to have adjuncts who excel in teaching, in community building, and in sustaining the spirit of the department. So, okay, I know some students also had to leave because they're in Ramiro's class, but let's move forward. So our next act of the program is student awards that students earned outside of the department. And next is Jack Graziano. Where is Jack? Well, don't stand up yet. Don't stand up. Okay. Who received very prestigious Boren Scholarship. And his mentor, Professor Niemeister, is going to tell us about that. And then, do you want Jack to come up right away? Okay, so you guys come here.
I don't have the money now. So I'm so happy to have the privilege to introduce Jack. So Jack, I know Jack when he took my remote sensing class, my environmental data science class. He is unique in a way that he's double majoring in Chinese and environmental study. So in terms of his geography side, he wants using his geospatial expertise to address this concern related to global climate change on a global scale. And so he has the creative idea trying to map this coffee plant using different satellite data. And now he's taking on more challenge work using this really cutting edge remote sensing called the LiDAR data to trying to map this called a bird-friendly coffee plant in Central Africa. So he had a lot of difficulty, but I think his attitude, his willingness to keep this work going, particularly this challenge, really demonstrates his dedication and his perseverance. On the other side, he take every opportunity trying to practice Chinese. So we chat a lot in Chinese. So I'm really impressed by his Chinese communication skill. I have to say, at home, I speak Chinese to my kids. He's Chinese. He said, no, parents in Chinese, right? His English Chinese much better than my kids, I have to say. So anyway, I wish Jack with the best luck on his trip. He's going to Taiwan and this coming year and for a year to study Chinese and also take some internship there and with the support of the Bourne Scholarship. So I hope this experience different culture and different environment will really enrich his understanding of global issues. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Okay.
Sure.
Just 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, I did prepare something small. But I did time myself and it was 3 minutes, so maybe I'll 1.5 speed it. So first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone here who has supported and nurtured my academic career. I'm so honored to accept the Bourne Award, not only on behalf of Hunter College, but specifically Environmental Science Department. When I first received this award, I was like, there's got to be some kind of mistake here. Like, I was hit with the worst bout of imposter syndrome. Does anybody else get imposter syndrome? Just me? Well, the point of me telling you this is to say, at the moment that I received it, I didn't feel deserving. Despite being told by my friends and family and reassured that I was in fact deserving, I couldn't accept it. But then I decided to flip the script on myself. Recently, I've had a lot of time to reflect, like a little too much. It's been me and the four walls in my apartment. And I was at peace with this situation up until about 2 weeks ago when I received news that a good friend of mine's brother had passed away from an overdose. And this just hit me like a truck. I only met this friend's brother once, but to know someone so young and so intelligent and so promising, and to hear that their life was suddenly and abruptly ended, I was devastated. As a science student, I'm always fixated on problem solving, but there I sat numb with no solutions coming to mind. There was no solution. This was a very permanent thing that had happened. So in light of knowing that I can never make up for the void left by the loss of a young person, I'd like to dedicate this award and speech to Noah Almeida Mack. I realized that this feeling of being undeserving was wrong. I was being unappreciated for the opportunities that had been afforded to me. So now I'm proud to say that I don't feel like an imposter. Instead, I feel energized and ready to take on each new day as if it was my last. I'm ready to embrace the future with open arms on good days and bad days, and I'm so lucky to have more days. I want to encourage us all to hold our loved ones close and to embrace the life we've been given. We've all heard that we need to live life as if this would be our last. And until you're confronted with mortality, you may discard these words as cliche. Please don't. Check in with your loved ones, ask them how they're doing, and don't accept the default good or okay as an answer. With this said, during my time in Taiwan, I hope to live life to the fullest, enjoy every moment, and appreciate the challenges that I'm blessed to face. Once more, a special thank you to Professor Niemeister, Professor Ruppberg, Professor Marcotulio, Moza Marina, and the entire department for providing me with the resources and support that I needed to succeed. May we all live for those who never could. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Winter. Thank you so much, Jack. Moving forward, now do we have Professor Radberg? Amy, okay, she's right there. Okay, so next we are inviting our overachieving student and Hunter College valedictorian. One of them, hopefully she will be the one, to come up forward. And this is Mariam Abdullah Van, and she is graduating with honors in environmental studies, and she's also a graduate of Macaulay Honors College. And I'm asking Professor Radberg, Mariam's mentor, to say a few words, and then we will ask you to say. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Miriam. Congratulations, everybody. It is my great pleasure to recognize Miriam for being selected as one of 2023's valedictorians. Anyone who knows Miriam knows that she has an incredible work ethic and an outstanding intellect. It has been my privilege to have taught Mariam in 2 courses and to have worked with her on her capstone project. Her research was funded by a Presidential Faculty Student Engagement Award from President Rob's office. This award allowed Mariam to participate in field and laboratory work and generate exciting new results about invasive species, forests, and climate change. Mariam, congratulations on being valedictorian and on your graduation. I know that you will use your Hunter College education to achieve your goals, and I'll also miss you.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor Rudberg and everyone.
Randy, thank you so much. Okay, I don't see Randy here anymore. She's like, I feel it like a hello, or it's like some kind of hologram. Okay.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I can see you now. Okay, and here too. Okay, well, thank you so much for such an amazing characterization of Mariam's work. Mariam, we are so proud of you. So do you want to say something?
Yes, I prepared something small. So I just wanted to talk about why I chose this program as my major. So when I went to high school, I was offered 2 courses that were a little bit unique. The courses were marine biology and animal behavior. And our teacher, Mr. Wren, he wove lessons of sustainability and the climate crisis into the curriculum, which captivated my attention and sparked my interest in the subject. When I began studying at Hunter College, I was initially undecided on a major, but for some reason, I kept taking science and geography courses. For example, I took weather and climate with you and environmental conservation with Professor Campos. And these courses kept me engaged to such an extent that I knew there was nothing else I would like to major in. So as soon as I hit my 60 credits, I declared my major to be environmental science, and I have never regretted that choice. And I'm really happy to be here. And thank you so much, Professor Rudberg, as well, for being my mentor. You were a great mentor, and I'll miss you too, but I'll keep in touch.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, there is there is a proposition. So, but before we act on it, please raise your hands if you are staying until the end of the program. So please all raise your hands. Okay, very good. So then the proposition is to take like a few minute break so you guys can go get the food, because there is a lot of food which is left, and we would be regretting if you don't have this opportunity. Okay, is it good with everyone? Okay, please. I'm ring the bell in a couple of minutes. So, do you think we have enough? Yes, I think we are. Is Andy not here? Maybe. Yeah. You know, I think we learned a little history background. We're looking at sort of our connection. So very strong. Particularly. Continue. Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, this is the first how do you call it? Like the ring the bell or whatever, like in theater when intermission ends, so they start ringing the bell. So this is the first ring of the bell. The second will be very, very quickly. Okay.
And they would shoot the cannon like they used to be, like in Great Britain, we would always go up for a Shakespearean play and when intermission was over or when they were getting ready to sing, they would shoot the cannon. And so we would always get the instructions from the teachers, make sure you listen wherever you are in the whole continent of Europe. Wherever you are, listen for the cannon or you're gonna miss getting seated.
All right, so here is the second ring, and we are starting the program again, continuing the program. So now you guys, if you want to know where we are, so you can turn to page 2. And now we are starting our departmental awards. The first award is Alice Hudson Map Award. And actually there are 3 students who will be receiving this award, even though the program mentions only 2. So those students are going to be Jamie Bastian, just met him right there, okay. Lisa Gagens, right there, no, and Amy Carrillo. Is Amy here? Is Amy here? Amy is not here. Okay, so, and
We'll send her money later.
all right, and Vice President of New York Map Society that generously supports our students with Alice Hudson Map Award is Laura Ten Eyck, and she joins us here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello. Can everyone hear me? Can I turn it up a bit? Oh, that's better.
Wait a second, like this. There you go.
My name is Laura Ten Eyck, and I'm Vice President of the New York Map Society. And I don't want to scare anyone here with all these academics, but I'm also an antiquarian map dealer. That's my full-time job. Yes, I hope that doesn't scare anyone. But so I wanted to say congratulations to both faculty and students of the Department of Geography and Environmental Science for persevering through another tumultuous year and getting the job done. Congratulations. I'll be quick because I know we're in a hurry, but I'm here today to represent the New York Map Society, whose members include scholars, librarians, collectors, dealers, conservators, artists, designers, and what we have in common is we love maps of every form and every type. Maps have the ability to transform the way we think about place, urban development, war, borders, peace, the art world. Through appealing to both sides of the brain, maps can communicate a message and transform the understanding of culture, society, and politics. Today, we will honor students who have submitted entries to the Alice Hudson Award in Cartography. Alice Hudson was a force in the field of map librarianship during its formation in the 1970s. Her curatorial and collecting work at the New York Public Library is legendary and helped to establish the library's map division as one of the best in the world. Her work in the field of women in map making and her pioneering research in that field continues to inspire today's research. Her seminal show on women in cartography at Boston Public Library in 2015 showed how little is known even today about the role of women in the history of map making. Alice joined New York Public Library right after graduating from Middle Tennessee University with a BS in Geography and Master's in Library Science from Peabody College at Vanderbilt University. Her awards are too many to name, but I will mention she received the Anastasia Van Berkelo Award from Hunter College for distinguished service in 1994. She was one of the founders of the New York Map Society, and it's a pleasure to present on her behalf. So today, although we don't have any winners, we do have 3 honorable mentions, and we have cash money for those 3 honorable mentions. So first, are we going to show some of the projects, or am I just going to say the names? Or I could say the names of whatever we'll do very fast. Okay, so in the static category, Lisa Gatjan, are you Dutch? Oh, did I say it right? Gatjan? Gatjan, for her beautiful map of Central Park. It should be printed by the Conservancy, and we felt it was very artsy, and the pleasing color scheme and modern design was better than the Conservancy's current map. So thank you so much. Another honorable mention goes to, thank you. We have cash for you. Another honorable mention goes to Jamie Bastian, whose timely map deals with California pollution. Ew, we hate California, just kidding. And we're not New York centric here. We do appreciate maps of other regions. And it notes how air pollutants are complicated by fog and wind and linger by infrastructure, ultimately affecting low-income housing. So we need to have more maps about it. Thank you. And the other interactive map that we would like to honor and give cash towards is Amy Carrillo. We want her to know that even though her project was about Boston, we still feel she deserved the award. And it was, I liked the design as well. So thank you so much, everyone, and congratulations.
Oh gosh, congratulations to the students. And I just want to say that our department cherishes so much the relationship with New York Map Society. And I think this is the 5th year when this relationship approaches. So it's fantastic. Thank you so much. And congratulations to the students again. Okay, let's upload this above. Okay. So the next on the program is Miriam and Saul Cohen Prize for Geographic Excellence. So we have 1 student receiving the award, which is Jorge Soldevilla, and Professor Miyares is going to announce the award.
Yeah, we have the privilege of having an endowed award endowed by Miriam and Saul Cohen. Saul was president of the AAG the year I joined as a second-year master's student. I love seeing the master's students over there. And I was completely blown away when I was being interviewed for this job and I sat down for coffee with Saul Cohen. He exemplified geographic excellence, and he wanted to encourage students to pursue academic excellence in individual research. So we do have a prize for undergraduate and graduate research this year. We did have some undergraduate submissions, but our review committee did not quite feel they were up to that standard, and that's okay. But we had a number of submissions on the graduate side, and I am pleased and honored both as co-chair of the awards committee and as his advisor to announce Jorge Soldevilla his research on post-Hurricane Maria Puerto Rican migrants to Florida and New England. His comparative analysis is an excellent publishing worthy manuscript. And he just completed also his MA exam. So he is officially graduated with his MA. Come on up, Jorge. You don't have to say anything. You're welcome to say something.
I'll say something.
Okay.
just very briefly, just thank the Cohen family for funding and promoting geographic research. A lot of times students like me don't think that a lot of the work that we do is, worthy or usually have self-doubt. So prizes like this are encouraging. And I would like to say the same thing about Professor Miyares, whose support throughout this last 3 years has been crucial for me to, finish my MA. So thank you very much to both.
And now on for a PhD. Got it.
After the summer, we'll talk.
All right. Congratulations again, Jorge. It's very inspiring. And so now we are moving to our next award, which is provided to us for so many years with so much generosity by Society of Women Geographers. And this society is represented here by its New York chapter president, Susan Leonard. And I just wanted to say that I think Society of Women Geographers also was a recipient of Anastasia van Berkelen Award in the past. I don't know if it were a particular person or organization, because I think it could go to both. Organization, yes. So that is even more exciting. So Susan, please come up here. Susan will introduce 2 awards. One is Adeline Moffat Award that we used to call Society of Women Geographers Fellowship. So now it has a name devoted to that particular person. And the second one is Sally Clark Award. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Oops. That's better. Some of us are vertically challenged. The Society of Women Geographers is nearly 100 years old, and our history is long. As you can tell, we have a connection with Hunter. We've been giving this award to Hunter College students now for over 20 years and are proud to do so. We are certainly pleased that Anastasia van Berkelen, I did not realize that her award was given to us, but she was a member of the Society of Women Geographers, as is Alice Hudson. So other background people like Margaret Mead, who called her gang, Amelia Earhart, Mary Douglas Lakey, and it's an organization that looks at the word geography in a broad sense, so that we have polar explorers, we have solo. We had 2 women who just spent 2 years living above the Arctic Circle doing research. We have artists, we have all kinds of creative people in different fields that all have a geographical center to them, and that's what makes them very, very important. Adeline Moffat started the award back in 1950 by establishing a foundation, and she was a painter, a poet. She traveled extensively, visiting some 44 countries, a fitting mentor for the New York group. And I am delighted today to give the Society of Women Geographers Adeline Moffat Fellowship to Melissa Linares for studies on the impact of wildfires on climate in the northern high latitudes. We will be, like everybody else whose checks are in the mail, awarding $6,000 for continuing work in her field. And my congratulations to Melissa. Can we get a picture, and then if Professor. All right. Thank you. And Professor Niemeister will speak about her.
Thank you. I have the privilege to introduce Melissa Linares. So I met Melissa when she enrolled in my remote sensing and environmental data science classes. So I found out Melissa is really incredible, bright, and a hardworking student. So particularly, she was able to really apply the skills she learned in class and right away to solve real world problems. So I see that she learned from the class and she was able to apply that to her work research. Of course, during her thesis study, she encountered a lot of setback because she looked at the data, it doesn't really, not supposed what it look like, but she always tackled this setback with positive attitude. So I really appreciate her patience and her dedication to the work she's doing. So Melissa's thesis is focused on looking at fire disturbance on surface, really forcing snowmelt and climate feedback in the northern high latitude. So particularly recently, the accelerate global warming in this region and resulting in intensification of wildfire in this area. So that's highlight the need to understand the consequence for the climate system. So she's using the long-term satellite observation, and her goal is trying to looking at the impact of fire disturbance and on surface really forcing snowmelt and the feedback to climate. So I look forward to see her sharing her results and with the SWG communities. It's worth acknowledging Melissa's contribution beyond her thesis work as well, and her analysis also looking at climate modeling output, particularly studying the role of vegetation in snow albedo feedback in boreal region. And because of this work, she earned the best poster prize at the Eastern Regional Dynamic Global Vegetation Model Conference this spring. So congratulations to Melissa for this achievement. I forgot to put it on our department website. So this is demonstrate her expertise and dedication for climate research. So as Melissa embarked on her PhD program at Graduate Center this fall, I join you in wishing her the very best in her academic journey and her ongoing contribution to the field of climate research and undoubtedly valuable, and her passion and dedication will undoubtedly fuel her success. Congratulations, Melissa.
The Sally Clark Award was established by the New York group of the Society of Women Geographers in 1982. Sally Clark was born in 1883, and rather than stay home and help care for her siblings, she started working at Woolworth's for $3.50 a week. She rose in the world, married in 1918 to James Clark, the creator of the animal exhibits at the Museum of Natural History, which I assume we have all seen. And she went off to Africa to shoot game and became an accomplished taxidermist. So when I look at the dioramas in the museum, which I did last week because I had some young friends in from France, I keep wondering which of those she might have done. But at the age of 50, she said, I can no longer kill these animals. And so she turned from that and became an accomplished sculpture artist. So I am absolutely amazed at how we all, in one way or another, keep reinventing ourselves depending on time in our lives, what's going on in the world. And I know we all will continue to do that. Melissa, you will, and we are happy to give this award to a young woman who will follow in the spirit of adventure, creativity, and discovery. $650 will go to Rosemary McGinnis, who will use this award to continue her research on quantifying the carbon emissions of cultivated lawns and the effects on climate change.
Rosemary is on
Oh,
Zoom,
good.
but we have a message from her mentor, Andy Ryman,
Okay.
that Shruti hears.
Hello, it's my pleasure to read a message on behalf of Andy Reinman for his student Rosemary McGinnis, who is receiving the Sally Clark Award. So here goes. These are Andy's words. I'm really sorry I could not be there today to celebrate with all our wonderful students and faculty. I'm honored to have the opportunity to say a few words about Rosemary McGinnis. I've known Rosemary for a little over a year. First as a student in my Ecology of Global Change course, and then as a researcher working in my lab. Rosemary has demonstrated a high level of independence and creativeness as a scholar and scientist, and simply put, is one of the finest students I have had the good fortune to work with in my time at CUNY. Rosemary is also an incredibly kind person who is a real joy to work with, and I can think of no person more deserving of the Sally Clark Award. Congratulations, Rosemary, and I'm so proud of all of you, of all you have and will accomplish.
Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you so much, Ruti. So, and Wendy, of course. Okay. Do the students have something to say? Okay, you have a few seconds, and I don't know how Rosemary is doing. Rosemary, are you there too to say something?
Yes, I'm here, if everyone can hear me.
Okay, so first, then Melissa, and then, okay?
I just wanted to quickly say thank you to Susan and the Society of Women Geographers. This is a great honor for me. And like other students, I sometimes was a little surprised. I felt like maybe the honor was too big for me, but I'm thankful. And I want to say special thanks to my mentor, Professor Neon Meister. I truly believe that I would not be receiving this award or accomplished a lot of my recent accomplishments if it wasn't for her. She has supported me, she has motivated me, and she has reignited the love I had for research. Because every single time we have our meetings, it's clear to me how much she loves it and enjoys it. And I just want to say special thanks to her. Thank you.
Amy, could you bring Rosemary? Thank you.
So if everyone can hear me, I hope everyone can. I just want to say that I'm extremely thrilled to receive this award, especially one named after a woman with such an incredible biography, which I was delighted to learn about just now. So we are currently preparing to conduct more fieldwork this summer. We're going to be collecting a lot of ground truth data in many different sites, including at the New York Botanical Garden, at the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory in Palisades, New York, and at the National Institute of Standards and Technology in Maryland. So this is a project which has a lot of moving parts and a lot of logistics and will require a lot of transportation. And so this award is going to be an incredible amount of additional support. And I really hope that we can make good progress on the project and that I can live up to this extremely kind and generous vote of confidence from everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa and Rosemary, for your warm words about the department and of course about your mentors and research that you are doing. Thanks again to Society of Women Geographers for the unwavering support for so long. It's really so meaningful. So now we are moving to the next part of the program, which will be honoring students, honoring students who are planning to graduate this spring semester and also in the summer. So I'm giving the stage to our advisors. And Alan Fry unfortunately had to go to class. He's our undergraduate geography advisor. But we have Peter Morcatulio, who is our undergraduate environmental studies advisor. We also have, we don't have Professor Albrecht because he also had to go to class, but we also have Professor Shona Hearn, who is our Masters in Geoinformatics advisor. So then, Peter and Sean, please proceed. So maybe Peter, if you could do Alan's, name Alan's students and Sean.
Just say the names there. Is this gonna stand like this? Okay, well, let me do my environmental studies first, and then we'll do the geographers. I just want to say, very simply, that this year we had a very large group of people graduating. I think this is a record. We now have 21 environmental studies graduates. So congratulations. And by the way, of those 21, 15 graduate with honors. So a huge group. Okay, so should we have them come up? Yeah. Who's graduating? Come on up here. Anyone left that's they all left. We have Nadira, come on. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. All right, so Nadira, would you like to say a few words for your class? Please.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy because I'm graduating this semester. My major is environmental art science, and I would like to thank all the professors to help me to achieve my goal. And I want to be a teacher after my graduations. Already I started at work at school, so I have only one class left, and I'm so happy. And I would like to thank my family for support me. Because of them, I'm here today. So thank you, everyone.
Congratulations. Okay, as far as the geographers, I'm gonna have to look on this list. There they are: Olivia, Thomas, Ruby, Altanier, and Jorby. Anyone here? No. Well, congratulations. I'm gonna pass it on to my other colleague.
Thank you, Peter. I won't ask if anybody's here. I'm just gonna. Can we get the right sequence or? It's a loop. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. So I'm the director or advisor for the Geoinformatics Master of Science degree, which if there's undergraduates in the room, I hope you give it serious consideration. Also the GIS certificate. And so we've had a number of students graduate, and as soon as it comes, I guess you can't see it anyway. But let's see can we freeze it, or is it just keep looping? Just keeps looping. Okay. I didn't really memorize everybody. Here it is right here. Anthony Albanese, Gauri Anand, Colleen, and Chris. Anthony worked on a really interesting project on looking at deep learning, specific type called a transformer, to classify different forest species type using hyperspectral data. And he compared it with sort of a more long-standing machine learning approach called random forest. So that was very interesting. And wish we could freeze it. We can't just freeze it. Yeah. For mine. Oh yeah, Gauri. Gauri did her thesis on looking at vulnerability indices in New York City. And what she did was she looked at different factors, as in statistical factors, and how those factors clustered. So certain socioeconomic categories or factors she discovered, and she could show how those related to geographic locations. Colleen, she did, so in the Master of Geoinformatics, there's two choices. You could do a thesis or an internship. And Colleen worked on an internship for the New York City Archdiocese. Did I say that right? So they wanted to know, who, geographically, how they could divide the city up based on their different centers. So she's going to go to heaven, of course. I mean, that was a great project. And I think I missed Chris, right? He didn't have a slide, but he worked, the fourth one on our list, Chris worked with the New Jersey Transit, and he was looking at bus scheduling and optimizing bus scheduling, as well as light rail and connections between them. So a very interesting internship that he had. The thesis and the internship are very different, but I think they're both very rich experiences. I would recommend both of them. And then we just saw that Lisa, where is Lisa? I've talked on the phone to you so many times, or somehow we've talked, but we've never met, right? By the way, I loved your map. And if I was a judge, I would have given you a win on that one. So we had Lisa, and as I mentioned, the GI certificate is our other program, and I hope the GIS certificate students think about, because I can transfer those credits to the Master of Science program. Okay. Who else do we have? Any others? Oh, Yvonne and Francesco were the other certificate recipients. So congratulations to you all. And who's up next? I guess we can clap. The recipients. Lisa's here. Who else is here? Anybody else?
A number of the geography MA graduates are here. Jorge, Jamie, and Devin are here.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't do that.
Sure. We also have 3 out of our 4 finishing up MA students present. Jorge, who we introduced earlier, Jamie, who not my student, but I taught him in thought theory and research method. And we were neighbors, and we discovered during the pandemic that we literally lived opposite each other. He was on one side of a block. Our buildings abutted. And then Devin Espinoza, who's finishing up her work on cultural landscapes using restaurants as a measure of neighborhood transformation and gentrification. And she'll be finishing up pretty soon. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to all students who really put so much work into getting to that point. And we really hope that what you received here at the department was not only meaningful, amazing, and exciting, but also going to be very useful in your future life. And you will be remembering us with fond memories. Okay, promise, promise, promise. Yes, okay, good, thank you. All right, so now we are moving towards the last, but not the least part of the program. So our esteemed colleagues Ines Miyares and Amy Ju will be conducting an induction ceremony for Gamma Theta Epsilon International Geographical Honors Society. And then they will be presenting an award to one of the members of the society, our former students. So why don't you guys come up, please? Thank you.
Okay, Gamma Theta Epsilon is an international honor society in geography. Gamma Theta Epsilon, or GTU, was founded in 1928 and became a national organization in 1931. Members of GTU have met academic requirements and share a background and interest in geography. GTU chapter activities support geography knowledge and awareness, and every year at our annual Department of Geography and Environmental Science Awards presentation, we induct new members into the Theta Pi chapter of GTU. Today, I have the privilege of introducing the two newest members, bringing our chapter's total membership to 158. And if you would raise your Zoom name, your Zoom hands, you're joining us via Zoom, so we can bring you on screen. Or I don't think you guys are here in person. Amy Carrillo. Yeah, okay. And Farah Qureshi. Oh, you are here in person. Awesome. Okay, so come on up, Farah. Okay, so before we go on, I'm going to give you just a brief overview of the symbolism of GTU, and we have a flyer at the center of the table as well, because we're, in the interest of time, we're not going to go into great detail on the symbolism, but I do encourage you, especially if you're not familiar, not a member, to grab one and read it. And we do encourage those of you who qualify for membership to apply, even if you're an alum. That's awesome. We will accept your membership. So it was on May 15th, 1928, a local professional fraternity under the name of Gamma Theta Epsilon was organized at Normal, Illinois University under the leadership of Robert G. Buzzard. Prior to that time, it had been known as the Geography Club of Indiana State Normal University. After 3 years of successful functioning, letters were sent out to other geography clubs, suggesting that a national fraternity be organized. The national organization with 4 chapters was announced on May 15th, 1931. Gamma Theta Epsilon with 10 chapters was incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois as a professional fraternity in geography on March 5th, 1936. In January of 1949, Gamma Theta Epsilon became an international geographical honor society. Our local chapter, Theta Pi, was founded on November 13th, 1998. By originally, the mover behind the organization of our local chapter was Amy Jew. And we had 15 charter members, and I had the privilege of being one of the inductors because I had been inducted into GTU as a graduate student at Arizona State, which was one of the original 10 universities to be part of GTU. And then, so I'm going to bring Amy up for the second part.
So the goals of Gamma Theta Epsilon are directed towards furthering the discipline of geography, geographic excellence, and service. They are as follows. 1, to further professional interest in geography by affording a common organization for those interested in the field. 2, to strengthen student and professional training through academic experiences in addition to those of the classroom and laboratory. 3, to advance the status of geography as a cultural and practical discipline in study and investigation. 4, to encourage student research of high quality and to promote an outlet for publication. 5, to create and administer funds for furthering graduate study and/or research in the field of geography. 6, to encourage members to apply geographic knowledge and skills in service to humankind.
Okay, and as we said, a description of the symbols are in the flyer, and it's representative of all of the aspects of geography. And if you're not familiar with GTU, not a member yet, I do encourage you to take a flyer and submit your application for next year. Now, you do not need to be a geography major. A significant number of our members are environmental studies majors. We are an honor society. We don't have a secret, secret handshake or anything like that. But we do, honor those who have taken courses in geography and have demonstrated excellence in those courses, and then they apply for membership, and then they're initiated. It is an internationally recognized, Greek Society of Honor. And so with that, Amy is going to read the pledge that all members who are being inducted recite.
Having become acquainted with the meaning of Gamma Theta Upsilon, are you willing to take the pledge of membership? If so, answer I am. Then repeat after me. I do hereby pledge myself to service in geography throughout my lifetime, in whatever capacity I may find, and to use geography to the service of humanity. As the founding president of Gamma Theta Upsilon, the Theta Pi chapter, I welcome you into membership of Gamma Theta Upsilon with all of the rights and privileges which such membership entails. I hope that your years in the organization and as a friend of geography will bring you much pleasure and happiness.
Now, in addition to inducting new members, one of the things that GTU can do is honor someone who has exemplified that pledge in their ongoing profession and life. And this year, the Theta Pi chapter of Gamma Theta Epsilon would like to recognize Madalena Romano as an example of continued excellence in geography and commitment to the discipline, the profession, and the next generation of geographers through all of the professional opportunities that she shares with our current students. I'm going to briefly read her bio. She was inducted a number of years ago, and she's been involved in the GIS field since 2001, with the bulk of her experience dedicated to GIS for emergency management planning and transportation asset management. In 2013, she received her Geographic Information Systems professional certification from the GIS Certification Institute. She has taught introductory GIS at Hunter College, as well as other courses in geology, and geography at Hunter College, Queens College, LIU CW Post Campus. She's presented at numerous professional conferences, most recently at the Middle States Conference in Buffalo in 2014. She belongs to a number of professional societies, has published her work with colleagues, and is currently collaborating on future research projects. Additionally, she's been awarded the Graduate Fellowship and the Writing Fellowship and the Doctoral Research Grant from the Graduate Center. And she, for anybody who's on the GOL, she's very regularly inviting our students to apply for professional internships. And as we know, for many of our students, it's internships that gets them that foot in the door for the job. And we are so grateful for Madalena's continued involvement in our department and her representation of what that lifelong commitment to geography looks like. Madalena, thank you. And she's on Zoom. If you could unmute her. Amy's working on it.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Great. So first I want to apologize to Inez. I realized I sent her an old bio. So I've been presenting at the Transportation Research Board conferences often. I just did so in January as well. And I've published a few other things, so sorry. And I've also won a few other awards since then, but no matter. I'm really honored. I was so surprised when Inez let me know about this. And honestly, I never thought of myself as doing anything special by supporting Hunter. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's par for the course for any graduate of the program to pay it forward to the next generation. And I advertise my opportunities at Hunter because I know that the education that they offer their students is top notch. I recently forwarded 2 more job opportunities to Alan Fry. I know it's on the listserv. In fact, I think, unless she's dropped off, the Rosemary McGinnis is one of my current interns, and I just hired to a full-time position, Gowrie Anad. So I am so grateful to Hunter for their excellent training and education that they offer their students, because quite honestly, I couldn't live without it. I'm so happy to have that. But being a graduate of Hunter myself and now working in the field, I really do understand how important the real world experience is. And I remember lamenting for years that my education didn't quite focus on this, or it didn't quite focus on that. And that's when I realized, after 8 years of working in the private sector, that I couldn't work in the private sector anymore. I needed to work in the public sector. I needed to be able to give back, to do something. And once I moved from private to public sector, I luckily, and with a lot of hard work, moved into my current position as Director of Data Asset Management. And because of that, I'm able to offer so many internships. And I even created a 4-credit internship to teach project management for small scale app development, because I believe that we need project management as well as just the amazing geoinformatics that we're getting now. I even rebranded my whole team as that. And it's really important to me for this exciting new field of data science to not leave GIS behind, because GIS is so incredibly integrated in that. And geoinformatics is an exciting new field that has an enormous amount of opportunities for new students, because data engineering and cleaning and data pipelines, error handling, custom web mapping, dashboards, all of that requires the coding, and that's what makes the new master's program in geoinformatics so important. That's what makes the geography master's so important. And again, I am just so happy for what Hunter is doing. I am humbled that they chose to honor me, and I hope that I can continue providing these valuable internships and work experiences to your current students and future students for as long as I am able. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Madalena, and congratulations to the newly inducted students. That's amazing. So hopefully it's gonna help and play a good role in your life. Actually, we do know for sure, because Madalena just showed us an example of it. So how many are still standing? Okay, so pretty good number. And I just want to say, so that was our last act. Amy wants to say something. Do you want to say something? Okay, Amy is going to say something.
Okay, so some of you may not have known that there was a monitor on the other side with the map submissions. So I'm just gonna play it on the video here, so our online participants can also view the maps that were submitted. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and we have this room until 6 o'clock, I believe, right? So those of you who would like still to hang out a little bit, look at the maps that Amy is going to provide, get some more food over there. So please do so. So thank you very much, everyone. It was amazing, amazing afternoon. Thank you. It was great pleasure sharing it with you. You want to say, okay, Mohammed wants to say something.
Yeah, frankly, thank you for everyone who took care of this event.
Well, they don't.
Oh, hello. Yeah,
Email
Yeah.
disconnected us.
thank you for everyone who shared to make our present here beautiful and fruitful. Thank you for all of those who contributed.
Thank you, Mark.
Good to be back in person. Great. Right. I used to give you trips all the time and stay in top. Project. And then I'll be all yours, and then I'll have all my time for your events. Right.